Baba Shuaib, the correctional officer, born in Accra, Ghana, a Quranic researcher and a critical thinker based on religion, who does online lectures based on the guidance of the Quran on platforms such as Facebook, YouTube and TikTok since 2018. In Finland, and 13 years, QBE, in Classical Arabic and MSA in Quranic Arabic. The author of the Refer to the Quran, which helps every novice to understand the steps towards understanding the great Quran and the guidance of God in it.
Time to rise and meet the challenge. Baba Shuaib is calling you out. Meet Baba Shuaib, a correctional officer with a mission. Today he's throwing down the gauntlet to the mushriks, no more holding back. With his logo shirt and cap, Baba Shuaib sits tall and confident. He says, the time for action is now. It's time to rise, to push past limits, and to become the best versions of ourselves. Baba Shuaib believes in the power of determination and resilience. His challenge is simple. Stand up, face your fears, and conquer them. Every day is a new opportunity, he says. An opportunity to grow stronger, to be better, and to leave a mark on the world. So, are you ready to accept Baba Shuaib's challenge? Are you ready to rise above and beyond? Join Baba Shuaib and let's show the world what we're made of, because the only limit is the one you set for yourself.
But what is so special about the Quran? Young ones, listen carefully. On this planet, there is nothing more valuable than the Quran. Not its diamonds, not its gold, not its oil, not its money, not its buildings, not its power, not its offices. The one most valuable treasure that we own is the Quran. But why is the Quran so grand? The Quran is not the word of another writer. It is not the word of a scholar. It is not the word of a professor. It is not the word of a president. It is not the word of a king. It is the word of Allah Rabbul Izzah. But what is so special about the Quran? Young ones, listen carefully. On this planet, there is nothing more valuable than the Quran. Not its diamonds, not its gold, not its oil, not its money, not its buildings, not its power, not its offices. The one most valuable treasure that we own is the Quran. But why is the Quran so grand? The Quran is not the word of another writer. It is not the word of a scholar. It is not the word of a professor. It is not the word of a president. It is not the word of a king. It is the word of Allah Rabbul Izzah. But what is so special about the Quran? Young ones, listen carefully. On this planet, there is nothing more valuable than the Quran. Not its diamonds, not its gold, not its oil, not its money, not its buildings, not its power, not its offices. The one most valuable treasure that we own is the Quran. But why is the Quran so grand? The Quran is not the word of another writer. It is not the word of a scholar. It is not the word of a professor. It is not the word of a president. It is not the word of a king. It is the word of Allah Rabbul Izzah. But what is so special about the Quran? Young ones, listen carefully. On this planet, there is nothing more valuable than the Quran. Not its diamonds, not its gold, not its oil, not its money, not its buildings, not its power, not its offices. The one most valuable treasure that we own is the Quran. But why is the Quran so grand? The Quran is not the word of another writer. It is not the word of a scholar. It is not the word of a professor. It is not the word of a president. It is not the word of a king. It is the word of Allah Rabbul Izzah.
It's too bright. It's too bright. Yeah, this is okay. Yeah, peace be unto you all. Let me see. Peace, 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 peace to everyone. Kindly let me know if you can hear me sounding clearly. Yeah, I got myself a new portable mic just in case I travel to Ghana and I have to do a live stream. So I just got myself a new mic. So I'm just trying it to see if the witches and the wizards haven't gotten hold of it already. Yeah, it's a portable one, a nice, comfortable one, I would say. Yeah. So kindly let me know if you can hear me sounding clearly. Yeah. Peace to all of you. I'm streaming live from Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. Yeah, so I got a feedback that the last time when I did 5 streams, I think my video was delaying. There was a delay in my video a lot. So I think today I decided to trim it down to three streams just to see how well this will do. Yeah. So peace to all of you. I give some shout outs to all those who are here. Let me put your comments here. Yeah. So here, greetings to all of those who are here. I can see SS. I can see Kirbu. Is it Kirbu Sealand? Lamin Ture. I see Kantora Sanyaba. Timothy John. Dangan Andagi. Zach Sparrow. JS. Ziad Mohammed. Momade Pedro. Bekaye Dial. Abdul Samad Adam. Muhammad Nurullah, Abdul Ghani Manzingana, DTX, Kristen F, Dana Nibruna, Omar Sataur, is it Tato Andy Sibia, Khadija Sameya, Stand with Cliff. I see you, bro. Peace to you, bro. I see you. Stand with Cliff. Cheno Mademba Sako, I see you. You can do this. I see you. Tom Johnson, Sister Iram, I see you. Bin Baz Bersalim, I see you. Mana Aulad. The book. It says, Salam Baba, can I have the Great Quran in Nigeria? Okay. Abdullah Shakun, Wahid Abdullah Saka. We have Abu Thomas. Yes, peace to you all. Thank you all for coming. Yes, I appreciate your presence. So those are for those on Facebook and then Facebook and YouTube, right? Yeah, those are those on Facebook and YouTube. Then for those on TikTok, yeah, for those on TikTok, I see Tony HD, I see Helal Ahmed, I see Rachel Green, peace to you. I see MJ Palmer, I see you. I see Abdul Samad, yes, you're watching there also. I see William Vibes, says Dr. Strange. Sister Dana, I see you. Dane's 45, servant of God. Yes. Let me see. I see. Enough is enough. I see you, bro. 2Gs. Arkandinta, salam to you. We can hear you loud. Okay, yeah. Flashpoints, greetings to you, my elder. Volution, Abdullahi Murtala, peace to you. Zara Zen, peace to you. NSC, peace to you. Yeah. Is it Nora? Salam to you. Thank you all for coming. Karim Jonathan, thank you all for coming. I appreciate your presence. God bless you. As you know, I'm going to deal with a so-called doctor we just observed lately. Is called Dr. Nasir is it Karimian? Karimian. I call him Dr. Strange. You know, I like the feeling when I give this kind of people names. Hey, Karim Lewis, I see you. Peace, bro. Long time. You know the feeling when I like to give these people, superhero names. The moment I give somebody a superhero name, you know there's a problem. Okay, so, but he does, to be honest, he does look like Doctor Strange. For those who watch Marvel, the Marvel universe, right? Those who watch Marvel, that is the Avengers and so on. There's this character called Doctor Strange, right? But I actually synchronized that name with Dr. Nasir. Of course, Dr. Nasir so far, when he did two videos on me, he's been respectful, so I have to go nicely on him because he was being respectful. But however, he was playing the heebie-jeebies game there. So I'm going to tackle his issues, and that's why I call him Dr. Strange, because he is strange to me. Like the way he was handling the issues I was putting forth was strange. So yeah, I'm going to dismantle his argument to show the straw man fallacies and argument he committed, and to put him aright. Factory reset is needed. You know what the correctional officer normally does. Okay, so but before I go on, I played a video at the beginning, right? So let me repeat the video again so that you get to see what I want to talk about.
But what is so special about the Quran? Young ones, listen carefully. On this planet, there is nothing more valuable than the Quran. Not its diamonds, not its gold, not its oil, not its money, not its buildings, not its power, not its offices. The one most valuable treasure that we own is the Quran. But why is the Quran so grand? The Quran is not the word of another writer. It is not the word of a scholar. It is not the word of a professor. It is not the word of a president. It is not the word of a king. It is the word of Allah Rabbul Izzah.
Okay. So you clearly heard this guy. His name is Wahaj Tarin. Wahaj Tarin. Sometimes I like the way he speaks slowly, I know women like him, obviously, because women will like a guy like that who like to speak slowly. Yes. And this is a fact, actually. You ask the women, they will tell you. They will like him because he's speaking gently, I wonder how he speaks to his wife at home. Yeah. This is the same guy who was describing the Prophet Muhammad. I don't know if you have seen a video of him describing the Prophet. I don't know. Do I have the video here? He was describing the Prophet as if he's describing, how will I say? Let me see. Wahaj. As Wahaj Tarin. Is it Wahaj? Yeah. Yeah, I think I found a video. Let me see if I can add it here. In this video, it was this particular video.
Describe him to me. And Muslims, look at the description of your Rasul.
Oh my God. Oh my God. That was the video. I don't want to play it just for copyright reasons, right? But the point is, like, he talks like, oh my God. Oh, you know, this is the other opposite side of Hoblos. He's the opposite side of Hoblos. Hoblos is more loud, you know, it's louder, and this guy is more gentle and soft. Yes, salam to you, Sister Khadija, Mom. I see you. Peace to you. Anyways, so you heard his video when I played earlier, the video, the way he was talking about the Quran and Quran being the, you know, the most valuable treasure on the planet, right? And he seals it up by saying, because it's coming from God. It's not coming from a scholar, from a king, from a president, from anybody but God. So this is the hypocrisy of the scholars when they are talking, where in the level they elevate the Quran, but with a blink of an eye, the same scholars, when you are talking to them in the next 5 minutes, they shut the Quran down, bang, like this, they slam it down. Yes, this is how their brain works, and they don't seem to see the problems they are causing. They don't see it. So they're using conscious and subconsciousness. So consciously, they will tell you, no, the Quran alone is not sufficient. Subconsciously, they tell you the Quran is the best book. How is it the best book when it's not sufficient? What makes it the best? Yeah. They seem to be convinced with their hibby-jibbies. I don't know. You know, I don't know if the brains they are using, there's a part of it coming from Europe, Western world, and part of it is coming from Temu. I don't know. I think it's made in China. We should actually be investigating. We should actually be investigating if China hasn't made a replica of these scholars, maybe fake brains. But anyways, let me go with this next video I wanted to play. Before I go on to Dr. Nasir, I think, guys, if you have his handle, kindly tag him so that he gets to watch. But anyways, I'll be doing a short reel from this video anyways, regardless. So I'll tag him on that. But anyways, I played one video before I go to the main video, right? There's a video that also caught my attention, just to show you how they try to play the Arab supremacy type of game. So listen to this.
Can I make dua and sujood in my own language? Now, the scholars said, if you speak Arabic, if you understand Arabic, and you make dua in other than Arabic, your salat is batil. But if it is hard for you to learn a dua in Arabic, and you did your best to learn the dua in Arabic, and you have an emergency and you want to make a request to Allah, they said go ahead and make dua in any language. But preferably, you have to make an effort to make dua in Arabic.
Guys, I hope you heard clearly what this guy was talking about, right? You clearly heard what he was talking about. They are making the religion, and this is what we call Arab supremacy. This is what we call Arab supremacy. And it's not only about making it Arab supremacy. They want the entirety of Islam to be all about their scholars. Their ulama. It's all about their scholars. Even though we were asked to follow the creed of Abraham, Millata Ibrahim Hanifa wa ma kana minal mushrikeen, Quran chapter 3 verse 95, Sadaqallahu, fattabi'u millata Ibrahim Hanifa, right? We should follow the millah of Ibrahim, the creed of Abraham. But they are still making Islam, the religion, all about their scholars. So they will just keep telling you the opinions of their scholars, that their scholar said this, the scholar says that, the scholar says if you do this is right, the scholar says. So it's not about God anymore. It's not about what God says. Can you show me evidence where God says this or that? No, it's not about that anymore. It's about what their scholars decide for you. So you saw the gibberish he was speaking about, telling you that if you are an Arab, then you have to pray in Arabic language. But if you are not an Arab, yeah, the scholars say no problem. So the scholars say no problem. But what are they trying to let it be? To be as if God only understands Arabic language, right? You should ask them these questions. Abraham, was he an Arabian? Noah, was he an Arabian? Moses, was he an Arabian? Right? And we have evidences, historical evidences that prove to you that even Jesus spoke Aramaic. Jesus was not an Arabian. So how was he speaking? In the language he spoke, that is how he talks to God, in your own language. Right? So now just imagine somebody like Baba Shuaib who speaks more than 8 languages, right? I speak more than 8 languages. And then I can choose to speak to God in any of the languages. Because God understands every language. It's among the signs of God. Quran chapter 30, verse 21 to 22. That is among the signs of God. Your languages and the variations in your colors and so on. So, but I don't know why these people always want to make Islam about them and their scholars. All the time. Anyway, so let's move on to the topic for today. But the topic for today, before I go on to the main topic of today, Dr. Nasir Karimian, this guy happens to be gaining ground on TikTok, right? He has over about 100,000 subscribers. So he started doing videos on, he's tackling Quran alone followers, right? So he goes for our short videos. But one thing that baffles me, that even though our videos are short, usually less than 1 minute or 1 minute, he doesn't finish the statement. He doesn't finish, let us finish talking. Like if he put my video, he will not let me end the statement I'm making. Then he cuts it off and comes with this rebuttal, which is, yeah, salam to you, my elder Faisal Rabi. You're welcome. Greetings to you. Peace to you. I hope you're doing well. Yes, so he will just cut it off. And greetings to my elder also, Sadi Rad. If you're watching me, greetings to you. Peace. I hope you're doing well, recovering. God bless you. Yeah. So what this Dr. Nasir, that I call Dr. Strange, he does is he will just take your video, something you just said, then he will just play a straw man argument there, a fallacy, and then he will just, twist what you just said. And due to that, he did the first video. People brought my attention and say, hey, are you going to tackle what he said? I said, just give it a time. Then he did another video on me. Right? I'm like, okay, yeah, this guy is trying to pull some strings. So now, yes, I'm coming for you, Dr. Nasir. And with all due respect, when I'm done with this and you see this video, or I do the shots or reels from this and you happen to see it, please don't do another video. Just give me a call. I would love to come as a guest on your platform. Yes, just give me a call. Don't do another video. You are going to embarrass yourself, because then you push me to the extent to bring the lion out of me, and you will not like that. Anyway, so let's go. His video that he did. Let me put the video that he did. I added here. Yeah, I'm uploading the video. Just a second. Bear with me. I can put it from here. Dr. Nasir, right? The Prophet never prophesies about Sahih Bukhari books or Sahih Muslim or Jami at-Tirmidhi. It is your scholars who are classifying it as Sahih without the authority of the Prophet. You can never find a single hadith where the Prophet says, on my authority, write this. It never exists.
Well, let's take a look at what does exist. How about that? Okay, when we know that the Prophet ﷺ was...
The video itself is about 1 minute or a bit over 1 minute. But did you see what he just did? Yeah. Did you see what he did here? He played just 20 seconds of my video and then went over to say, let's see what does exist. And I'm going to show you that he never answered my argument. He just did a straw man, right? He did a straw man on my argument. He never answered my argument. I have the full video that I did on that, and I can play it so that you see the argument. It has a context to what I was saying. He never put the context out there for people to understand what I was saying, because this is what the sectarians are very good at. They try to twist the narrative so that it suits to their agenda. This is what they do, right? So let's take here. This one. We never said we reject Muhammad as a messenger. We never. This is the full video itself. It's just 1 minute. I was speaking for like 55 seconds. That was the context of what I was speaking about in the video. What this guy did is, Dr. Nasir did is, he cut the video from 20 seconds. That's it. And to him, that is a rebuttal. And he did a straw man rebuttal. And I'm going to go delve into his video and show you. So this is the main video. And instead of playing the full video, he didn't. Right? Yes, thank you very much, Tato Andy. God bless you. So now, I'm going to play his version, right? And see what he did. I'm going to play his version of the video and to show you the straw man argument he committed. So here, I go and put his video. Now, this is his. The Prophet never prophesies about Sahih Bukhari books or Sahih Muslim or Jami at-Tirmidhi. It is your scholars who are classifying it as Sahih without the authority of the Prophet. You can never find a single hadith where the Prophet says, on my authority, write this. It never exists.
Well, let's take a look at what does...
So you see what the doctor did. So not even 20 seconds exactly. He played about 18 seconds of my video that I did for 1 minute. He played just 18 seconds. So, doctor, if you're sincere and you are doing this for the cause of God, this is not how you should do it. Allow my 1 minute video to play. The context is there. What I'm saying is there. Don't cut in between the line just to suit your agenda, because this, as a matter of fact, this is what you guys have been doing with the hadith books. Before I continue the video, what I want you to understand is the truth does not function with your degrees and the opinion of your scholars, but rather the truth what functions with the facts, things that are factual. What I want you to understand also is you don't come quoting hadith to justify hadith. My argument was against hadith books, so you don't use hadith books as your evidence to justify hadith. If Quran is the ultimate truth that you and I actually uphold over anything, you have to bring your justifications from the Quran, because that was my line of argument in the video. Oh, sorry. That was my line of argument in the video you played. But because you are Dr. Strange, you did it in a strange way by cutting it off to play the part you want to respond to. But I'm going to show the people the straw man argument you presented by doing what you did. So now this is your response.
Does exist. How about that? Okay, when we know...
So now he is saying let's check, let's see what exists. How about that? Now, listen, my argument was clearly laid down. He played a video, my argument was clearly laid down. This was my argument. Please listen carefully.
The Prophet never prophesies about Sahih Bukhari books or Sahih Muslim or Jami al-Tirmidhi.
The Prophet himself never prophesied about the Sahih al-Bukhari books, Jami al-Tirmidhi, Sahih Muslim, and so on. He never did that. Wallahi lazim. He knows that. The Prophet never prophesied about these books. Then again,
it is your scholars who are classifying it as Sahih.
And it is your scholars who are actually classifying these books as Sahih. As even Imam Albani, he has classified some of these books as Sahih himself. And some of their scholars, they classify these narrations. They check the isnad, chain of narration. They tell you this is mutawatir, and then they will classify, they give it the classification. The Prophet is oblivious. He's not aware of all this.
Without the authority of the Prophet.
And it is without the authority of the Prophet, because what your people did is they did it on their own accord. The Prophet never gave anybody authority, any of them. Because as a matter of fact, all the most popular hadith books being used today, none of them met the Prophet. None of them met the Prophet. So do you see the argument there? Okay.
You can never find a single hadith where the Prophet says, on my authority, write this.
Now, this is where the argument itself was laid. You can never find one single hadith where the Prophet said, I repeat, listen, because sectarians are not good at listening. I'm not joking with you. Sectarians, they are never good at listening. So when I say I only lecture intelligent people to the truth in religion, I'm really talking about intelligent people, right? When they listen to something in their head, because their brains usually are from Temu, they don't know how to process what is being said. And I'm going to use this Dr. Strange to show you what he did. Now, you saw the argument I just laid clearly, right? It never exists. Where the Prophet says, on my authority, write these hadith books. No, it doesn't exist. I repeat, on my authority, write these, it doesn't exist. Now listen to the straw man.
It never exists.
Well, let's take a look at what does exist. How about
now then, Dr. Strange comes in and he says, let's take a look what does exist. So he knows my argument that I said doesn't exist. It actually doesn't exist. But now he says, let's take a look what does exist.
How about that? Okay, when we know that the Prophet ﷺ was delivering his farewell address, Hajjatul Wada', in front of the largest crowd that has ever gathered in front of him, what did the Prophet ﷺ say? With the most amount of people watching, he said, لِيُبَلِّغِ الشَّاهِدْ الْغَائِبَ.
Now this hadith he's quoting is actually wrong. The hadith reference you gave, Dr. Strange, the hadith reference you gave, Sunan Ibn Majah 3055, is not there. So ladies and gentlemen, for anybody watching, you can go to Sahih Sunnah.com. Search it. Search this hadith he put there. Write Sunan Ibn Majah, hadith number 3055. Search it. Book number 25, hadith 100. It doesn't exist there. It's not there. Right? But look at his argument. He quoted the hadith and he put into brackets and saying the farewell of the Prophet. If you go and check that farewell, that is not the hadith there. The farewell, let me see, I can put it on the screen here. If you go to sunnah.com, so let's take sunnah.com and we go to Sunan Ibn Majah, right? So I'm going to open the hadith and share the screen so you see what he did. So here, share the screen, right? Now, guys, I hope you can see the screen. Let me see if you can see it clearly. Aha. So this is the screen, if you can see it clearly enough. Yeah. I hope you can see it. Now, this is the screen for the hadith. Now, what he did is, this hadith he gave you, if you check from his reference, the hadith is supposed to be what? 3055. From the video I just played of him. Is Sunan Ibn Majah, 3055. Book number 25. And he said hadith number 176. Let me see. 100 and I put the video back so that you see where he's.
Shuaib. Let those who have witnessed convey my word.
136. The hadith there is 3055. The reference there is not hadith 136, it's 174. And that hadith is not talking about what you, Dr. Strange, just mentioned. That is not what is there. So now he quoted this hadith that he is using as his argument. My argument in the video pertaining to your
Words to those who are
in your
absent.
own video does not add up. My claim is there is nowhere where the prophet actually said, on my authority, listen, write this. You came with a counter argument to commit a straw man. Then you say, so let the one who is present inform the one who is absent. Please, ladies and gentlemen, did the prophet actually tell them, write hadith books on my authority? Or he said, let the one who is present inform one who is absent? The prophet just gave a sermon. You said it's a farewell sermon. You have a lot of hadith books which narrates the sermon. You are now saying that the prophet said, let the one who is what? Present inform the one who is absent. Does it equate to my claim saying that on my authority, the prophet gave somebody authority to write? And why will you even quote hadith book also to justify your claim? It doesn't make sense. The argument I'm presenting is a package against hadith books itself. You are again quoting hadith book. That hadith you just quoted, who made it sahih? You just quoted Sunan Ibn Majah. This hadith you quote, even though you quoted the wrong hadith, this hadith, who made it sahih? That's my question to you, Dr. Strange. Who made this hadith sahih? Because you just committed a secular argument here. That is secular reasoning. Because what we are dealing with is my video was shutting down all your hadiths entirely. Then you came, you being the doctor, Dr. Strange, you came quoting your own hadith book again, which already it is in the courtroom and I'm trying to water it down. And you are quoting the hadith and you even quoted the wrong hadith. And then you are trying to justify your claim with the wrong hadith again. Doctor, go and come back again. Please, go and come back again. Then, in order to justify this is what you said.
What I'm teaching you, what I'm telling you, convey this message to people who are not there. Did he use the words, write it down? No, he said, convey it.
Did he use the word, write it down? Then you said, no. He said, convey it. He said, convey it. Doctor, that's why I call you Dr. Strange. I don't know how you earn your degree. But look, Baba Shuaib, I'm called correctional officer for a reason. I choose my words very carefully, especially when I'm doing content online. Because I know people like you play the games of semantic with words. My argument was very clear and sound-minded argument.
You know it is not there. Why even make a video as a rebuttal against my words? You know it doesn't clearly say they should write hadith or on the authority of the prophet, anybody should write anything. What you just did is a straw man argument. Seriously. I call you Dr. Strange because you actually look like Dr. Strange. Let's continue.
That can be conveyed through word, through writing, through letters.
Now, look. Now, if the prophet said they should convey, by the way, you using your own hadith book again to justify the claim is a flawed argument, because my claim in that video was watering down all your hadith books to justify that the prophet didn't even give the authority for the hadith books to be written. You are again using the same hadith book to prove your point, but it doesn't give them authority still. Where in that hadith did the prophet say, on my authority, write this hadith and transmit it? It doesn't exist. That was my clear argument. So no wonder you guys cannot face me one-on-one, because I'll shut you guys down. Wallahi lazim. You know me very well. I will shut you down. Your degree is going to go to the trash. Yes, when you face correctional officer, I'll put your degrees in the trash. Let's continue.
Through many different methodologies. Is that okay? Does that qualify?
Now you are asking me, is that okay? Does that qualify? No. Where are my glasses? You are asking me if that is okay, if it qualifies. No, it doesn't qualify, doctor. You of all people, you earn your degree and you earn your PhD or whatever, you should know better that it doesn't qualify. Yes, it doesn't.
How about the fact that on that same occasion of Hajjatul Wada', the Prophet
Again, you go forward again to quote her hadith again. The Prophet never even uttered this hadith you are quoting. Sunan Abu Dawood, hadith number 4607, book number 42, hadith number 16. This hadith you are going to quote again is a flawed argument. By the way, I'll be using your own hadith books to whip you again, you Dr. Strange. After you quoted yours, I'm going to go into the hadith books to show you how you guys do cherry picking. Yes, hadith scholars are very good at cherry picking. They choose the hadith that suits them, and they reject the other ones, even if it is sahih. Even if the isnad is okay, they will reject it. So he went ahead to quote an hadith by shortening the hadith. This hadith you are quoting, you say, so adhere to my sunnah and the sunnah of the rightly guided caliphs after me. Hold on to it firmly and bite onto it with your molar teeth. Dude, what are you even quoting? This hadith, what you are quoting right now, this hadith, that is not how the hadith is narrated. The reference you put, that is not how the hadith is quoted. Okay, I take the people again to sunnah.com. This is the hadith. It's Sunan Abu Dawood 4607. Then I put it on the screen to show the people something. This one. No, not this one. Okay. So let's take this hadith here and show it to the people. So guys, I don't know if you can see this hadith clearly on the screen, but this hadith I'm putting on the screen, at the bottom part of the hadith here, this part, here, it starts in Arabic here, where it says, فَعَلَيْكُمْ بِسُنَّتِي وَسُنَّةِ الْخُلَفَاءِ الْمَهْدِيِّينَ رَاشِدِيِّ. Here. So they translated here, it's, you must then follow my sunnah, or upon you is my sunnah, and the sunnah of the rightly guarded caliphs. Hold to it and stick fast to it. Avoid novelties, for every novelty is an innovation, and every innovation is an error. Now, you yourself, Dr. Strange, you quoted this hadith in your video. You wrote it down, Sunan Abi Dawud 4607. This is the hadith. It is made Sahih by Imam Al-Albani. He made this hadith Sahih. Right? Okay, guys, you cannot see me. Let me put myself back. Imam Al-Albani made this hadith Sahih. This hadith you put on the screen, that is the hadith. I'm quoting it back to you. This particular hadith was not made Sahih by the Prophet. It is your scholars who made it Sahih, as I said in the video. You are using the same hadith that your scholars made Sahih to quote it back to me as an argument. How is this an argument? But you are trying to justify that the Prophet says, alaykum, fa alaykum bisunnati, and upon you is my sunnah. But we, the Quran alone followers who happen to follow the Quran for guidance, we ask you, the sectarians, prove to us where where it clearly says the Prophet has sunnah. Where it says sunnah to Nabi, it is not there. Sunnah to Rasul is not there. Sunnah to Muhammad is not there. Why are you committing straw man arguments when the actual book of guidance doesn't contain your arguments? And I'm going to refute your arguments on the table, on the silver platter. So let's check how you finished the video.
Said, فعليكم بسنتي وسنة الخلفاء الراشدين المهديين عدوا عليها بالنواذج. Upon you is my sunnah and the sunnah of the rightly guided caliphs. Hold on to their sunnah, hold on to this sunnah, our sunnah, with your molars. Bite down, hold on to it like it's something very, very important. Does that qualify? Does that work for you?
No, it doesn't. Dr. Strange, what game are you playing? My video, what I said in my video has nothing to do with what you are saying. What I said in my video, what you came with the rebuttal doesn't make sense. But I know a lot of people don't actually pay attention to when you guys are saying things. They don't cross-check and scrutinize your claims. So they don't see the mishaps you guys are committing. You're asking, is it okay? It's not okay. I would love to have had you one-on-one on a dialogue. Then I'll prove to you why what you're saying is not okay.
How about the fact that every single Jum'ah, the Khutbah al-Hajjah, the introductory statement,
you don't actually have a single hadith with the full khutbah of Prophet Muhammad. Prophet Muhammad never gave any khutbah in Jum'ah. Where do you have it? Where is the full khutbah Prophet Muhammad ever did? You don't have it. You just sat there. How about the khutbah of the Prophet? Where is it? Please give us a reference where it says Prophet actually gave a full sermon and this is the sermon. You don't have any hadith like that. Your so-called Jum'ah prayers you've been praying, where does it say this is the full khutbah the Prophet gave? It doesn't exist. So, Dr. Strange, what is your argument, really?
of the Prophet ﷺ would begin with what? أما بعد فإن خير الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي.
Now you are quoting this particular hadith where they say إن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير هدي هدي Muhammad. That is the hadith you are quoting again to me. You are still quoting hadith books to justify your claim. Hey, what is wrong with these guys? Akroba, to give me, God. Come here.
God have mercy upon us.
Dr. Strange, you came to refute my argument. You should be using the book of guidance, which is the book of God. God says, Sharu Ramadan allazi unzila fihi al-Quran hudan linnas. The Quran is a guidance for mankind. The Quran is al-Furqan for mankind, criterion. So when you came to refute my argument, you should be using the book of God to justify your claims. That you even have a tangible argument with that. Yes. But if you come quoting hadith books, the hadith books I'm still questioning in my videos. In my video that you are doing a rebuttal, you are still quoting from the same hadith book. We are yet to even justify who made it Sahih. You didn't classify that. Oh my God. So are you a doctor? Dr. Strange. Let's continue.
Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As for what follows, indeed the best statement is the book of Allah, and the best guide.
Now look at another fallacy they are going to commit. He says the best statement in the Hasdak al-Hadith, the most truthful. It doesn't say best. Please, doctor, you should know better. If you understand Arabic, Dr. Nasir, you should be an Arabian. You should understand Arabic, please. Where it says in the Hasdak al-Hadith, it doesn't say the best hadith. In the Hasdak al-Hadith means the most truthful, the most honest, or the most truthful hadith. Statement or discourse. The most truthful discourse is the book of God. So which means you guys have a problem. But look at the way you are even twisting what your own hadith book says. Look.
فإن خير الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم.
I don't know what you are even quoting, because the things you are quoting is full of mistakes now. You are saying فإن خير هدي هدي what? What are you saying? Look.
Single Jum'ah, the Khutbah al-Hajjah, the introductory statements of the Prophet ﷺ would begin with what? أما بعد فإن خير الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد.
You say in خير الهدي كتاب الله. The best guidance is the book of God. That's what you are saying. Okay. Then you say what?
Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. As for what follows, indeed the best statement is the book of Allah.
You quoted the hadith wrongly. Because what you are quoting is not how the hadith says it. Oh my God. Whose husband is this? This guy, who sent you, Dr. Strange? Seriously, who sent this guy? The hadith you are quoting is wrong. Let me show you something. The hadith you are quoting is Sunan an-Nasa'i 1578. In the hadith is telling you that in the hadith, let me put it on the screen so people can see it. You go to sunnah.com, you put Sunan an-Nasa'i. Yeah, here. Nasa'i, yes. This one now. 1578, yes. Then I share the screen. Just a second. Let me share the screen to you for you to see. The hadith is trying to quote. What he is quoting is totally way out of coverage area. Now here, this is the hadith here. So you see where I've just highlighted. It says, Inna asdaq al-hadith, then it says, Kitab Allah, wa ahsan al-hadi, hadi Muhammad. Inna asdaq al-hadith, Kitab Allah, then it says, wa ahsan al-hadi, hadi Muhammad. So this hadith I just put on the screen is Sunan an-Nasai 1578. Now, he is quoting the hadith with mistakes, and he didn't even quote it well because he's in the rush to do a rebuttal against correctional officer. So he wasn't even paying attention to what his own hadith that he is quoting. Right? Listen to him again.
The Khutbah al-Hajjah, the introductory statements of the Prophet ﷺ would begin with what? أما بعد فإن خير الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدي محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم. As for what follows, indeed the best statement is the book of Allah, and the best guidance is the guidance of.
Now, then he went ahead to say, the best statement is the book of God, and he says the best guidance is the guidance of who?
Muhammad. Notice the distinction. So
then he says the guidance of Muhammad. These people are kaput in the head. I'm telling you, Dr. Strange. I think you never read Quran chapter 2, verse 272. This is what God told the prophet. In Quran chapter 2, verse 272. I put it on the screen. Yeah. Do you see this verse? Why it says, Laysa alayka hudahum walakin Allah yadi man yasha. You see this part? In English, it says, their guidance is not upon you, but God guides whomever he wills. Their guidance is not upon you, Muhammad, but God guides whomever he wills. Then apart from that, in Quran chapter 3, verse 20, this is what God asked the prophet to tell the people. He says, so if they argue with you, then say, I have submitted my aim to God, and so have those who follow me. And so to those, and say to those who were given the book and the unlearned, have you submitted? And if they have submitted, then they are guided. They are indeed guided. But if they turn away, then only the notification is upon you, and God is cognizant of the servants. Now, this notification, that is what contains the guidance of God. So God went further in Quran chapter 24, verse 54. This is what he told him. It says here, say, obey God and obey the messenger. But if you turn away, then upon him is only what has been imposed, and upon you is what you have been imposed. And if you obey him, you will be guided. And only the clear notification is upon the messenger. Now we are going to ask the messenger, what is the actual guidance? The actual guidance the messenger gave and mentioned in the Quran, if you go to Quran chapter 6, verse 71, this is what it says here. God clearly told the messenger here to say what? Say, indeed, the guidance of God is the guidance. Here, in Arabic, this is what it says. Kul, inna hudallahi huwa al-huda. This is what it clearly says. Inna al-hudallahi, kul, inna hudallahi huwa al-huda. Indeed, the guidance of God is the guidance, meaning it is the real guidance. It is the absolute guidance. It is the guidance you need. The guidance of God is the guidance. So, Quran is clearly dismantling your argument. You went ahead to quote your comedy books to justify your hadith books. I'm already doing videos to refute your hadith books, and you are now bringing the hadith books back and quoting them again to justify your arguments. Dr. Strange, why? You don't study the Quran? Afala ta'kilun? Will you then not reason?
Notice the distinction between the book of Allah and then, of course, the Sunnah of the Prophet.
You even made a distinction between the book of God and the Sunnah. We ask you to come and show us in the Quran, where does it say the book, the Sunnah of Muhammad? You guys, till the day of judgment, you cannot show us. Wallahi. Salam to you, Brother Imran. You're welcome. Till the day of judgment, none of you, including your doctorate degrees, your PhDs, your whatever degrees, it belongs to the trash. If this is how you are going to use your degrees to be lying to the people, wallahi, it is irrelevant. You should rather have your PhD and degrees in engineering, something else, instead of having it in theology and then lying to people. What is the benefit of your degree? And you are even tagging yourself doctor of lies, just like Dr. Zakir Naik. who said you can eat the poop of animals and also drink the pee of animals. How are you guys okay? Oh, it is obvious. Look at his picture down there on my page. You just look at the picture down there. Where am I pointing? Down here. Just watch the picture. Look at the face he made. Is he not strange? Let's continue.
That is distinguished, and that clarifies. And finally, if you are somebody who says, no, I'm going to reject.
Now he's going to preach. After committing all these fallacies, he is going to preach to me. And now he's going to listen to what he's going to tell me. Look.
That I only want to hold on to the Quran. Okay, great. Allah Ta'ala says, back there.
If you are somebody who is saying, no, I don't need all this, I only want to hold on to the Quran. Now he's going to preach to me. He's going to give me advice. Listen to what he says.
لقد كان لكم في رسول الله أسوة حسنة لمن كان.
He's quoting Quran chapter 33 verse 21. He's going to quote it out of context and look at the interpretation and explanation he's going to give to the verse. They twist the words of God in the broad daylight, regardless of their qualifications, regardless of them calling themselves Arabians. Most of them are hypocrites. Wallahi, I'm telling you. And this is why they don't dare face me one-on-one, because I will expose them. You saw it when I faced the Ahmadi guy, the Hussam guy from the Ahmadi of religion of whatever, peace. And yeah, peace to you. Let's talk, let's think podcast. Greetings to you, bro. He said, hey, in my Baba Shuaib voice. Hey, hey, Liman Imran, I see you, bro. Salam. They twist the words of God in the broad daylight because they are not scared of God. They are rather scared of the devil, and they are scholars. Now, he quotes chapter 33, verse 21.
يرجو الله واليوم الآخر وذكر الله كثيرا. This is Surah Ahzab, ayah number 21. Allah is saying, there has certainly been for you in the Messenger of Allah an excellent pattern or an excellent example for anybody who has hope in Allah. Do you have hope in Allah and the last day? Do you have hope in the last day? And who remembers Allah often? Don't you want to be that person? And if you do, then you want to take the example of the Prophet ﷺ.
The verse says messenger, dude. Dr. Strange, you just quoted the verse. Are you not listening to yourself? You just quoted the verse and you said Rasul, messenger. How did you just swap the word messenger to prophet now? Okay, let's assume we have to follow the prophet, the example of the prophet. You guys claim in your comedy books that he married a CCSO girl. Doctor, please, you have to set a good example. According to Sahih al-Bukhari, 5134, you guys claim he married a CCSO girl and he consummated the marriage at 9 years old. You said the prophet did that. If you want to follow the best example and the sunnah of the prophet, doctor, I want to be your follower. So please initiate. Initiate by taking CCSO girl in marriage. So we can also adapt the sunnah like that one. They will tell you, no. Ahi, now that one, no, it's exclusive for the prophet. They will tell you, no, that sunnah, no, it's only because look at you making videos like this. You can see all the beautiful women laying comments on your platform. There's no way you will leave these women to go and take CCSO girl, but you think the prophet will be dumb enough to take a CCSO girl, right? This is how your kaput brains work. I'm serious, because you twist the words of God out of context. Where you are rifun al-kalima al-mawadi. This is what you guys do. God says blue, you say black. He clearly says Rasul there. You are swapping the word Rasul to put the word Nabi. What is wrong with your logic, Dr. Strange? Why are you doing that? Yes, Omar Satawar is true. Mushriks will do everything to save their garbage books. That is evident. Right? So look at the disturbing advice you are giving me. He said,
where are you going to get that example from? Where are you going to learn this example?
Now he's saying, where will I get the example from? Okay, let's agree. I'm not going to get it from the Quran. I'm going to get it from your garbage books, hadith, right? So let's go and marry CCSO girls, because according to you, the prophet was inspired and he married CCSO girl. Sahih al-Bukhari 5134. Doctor, you are a doctor. According to you guys, 6 years and 9 years, they are matured. Yes, you guys told us Aisha is matured, even though she's playing with dolls. Aisha herself, she said she's playing with dolls. Guys, anybody who wants to know that Aisha was playing with dolls, check Sahih al-Bukhari 6130. Write it down. Sahih al-Bukhari 6130. She was playing with dolls with her little age mates, right? She plays with toys and girlfriends. She plays with dolls, right? So you should follow suit. Doctor, I want to see you marry the CCO girl because you want to follow the prophet. You said his examples are found in your garbage books, right? You guys don't reason at all.
Okay, take care. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
God says, لَقَدْ كَانَ لَكُمْ فِي رَسُولِ اللَّهِ أُسْوَةٌ حَسَنَةٌ. There has certainly been a good example in the messenger of God, because you've seen it in the Quran. The examples are there. The messenger of God, his examples can be found in the Quran. We see several instances and notions where people come to the messenger and they ask him about alcohol. They ask him about gambling. They ask him about the hour. They ask him about the spirit. They ask him what they should spend. They ask him about things, orphans. Then God will tell the messenger, say. When they ask you about this, say. When they ask you about that, say. How bozzified you scholars can be. You even have your doctor. Look at the trash, the comedy books you kept behind you. Look. Just look at yourself. Look at your own video, Dr. Strange, and see the comedy books you kept behind you. And you are even struggling to quote your own hadith books to me. You want to use comedy books to fight against the Quran. What is wrong with your logic? Afala takilu. Now, you see this things this guy was trying to impose on me. According to their own Sahih al-Bukhari hadith, in Sahih al-Bukhari 2155, guys, write it down. Sahih al-Bukhari 2155. The hadith, in the hadith, they said, the prophet said, Man ishtarata shartan laysa fi kitabillah fahuwa batil. Whoever will impose a condition which is not found in the book of God, that condition is false. If you impose any condition on people and that condition is not found in the book of God, that condition is totally false, according to their own hadith books. But what do you see the scholars always doing to us? Trying to impose a condition we don't find in the book of God. And that is the same argument I used against Sheikh Fahim from South Africa. And he agreed with me. Fahim, do I have the video? I think so.
Whenever we upload.
No, this one.
It's manishtarata.
I have it. I have the video. I have it. Let me put the video.
It's manishtarata sharatan laysa fi kitabillah. This is a principle that everyone should apply, including yourself, that do not impose in anything that you do in your life. Do not impose in anything that you do a condition that you do not find that condition in the book. So alhamdulillah, you have just proven that the sunnah takes us back to the Quran. The sunnah tells us, go to the Quran and see the laws that are in the Quran. Whatever laws you find there, don't apply it to, if it's not in the book of Allah, don't apply it to your life.
They think they are sensible and they keep on making mistakes. God have mercy upon us. God have mercy upon us.
So the hadith I'm quoting is 2155. Sahih al-Bukhari. And you saw this bozo from South Africa. He's even helping me to quote it. And he says, I'm right. You are right. The prophet said, whatever you don't find in the book of God, don't apply it to your life. But these bozos still want to convince us to come and follow comedy books. Well, your comedy book says the prophet married a 6-year-old girl. We don't see your scholars marrying 6-year-old girl. What stopped them from following that sunnah? Anyways, Dr. Strange, I'm not done with you. There's a next video. Let's go to your next video. Dr. Strange, I'm coming for you. You see. You are lucky you were respectful. I will have damaged you. Seriously. Let's go. Your next video is this one. This same hadith video. Look, the books are full of gibberish. Nothing is sensible in those books. Now somebody says, but we can get some truth in there. It's nothing that will put you to paradise from the hadith books. Nothing. Because that means you are telling me the Quran is not sufficient for your guidance. On the day of judgment, which book will the prophet or the messenger say that people have abandoned? Was it not the Quran? Quran chapter 25 verse 30. قال رسول يا ربي إن قوم اتخذوا هذا القرآن مهجورا. He said, my people have abandoned the Quran. He never said they abandoned Sunnah or Hadith or anything. They abandoned the Quran.
You guys got that? Quoted Surah Al-Furqan. I know.
Again, it's a over 1 minute video I did. Over 1 minute video I did. He cut the video. He played about 30 seconds of the video. And he's going to do a straw man argument again, right? So now, before he does his straw man argument, I'm going to play the video in full and see what I actually said from that statement. Let me play that video in full. Then you see what I actually said in my video, right? Just to show you the game these sectarians like to play, because they are mischievous. These same hadith people, look, the books are full of gibberish. Nothing is sensible in those books. Now somebody says, but we can get some truth in there. It's nothing that will put you to paradise from the hadith books. Nothing. It means you are telling me the Quran is not sufficient for your guidance. On the day of judgment, which book will the prophet or the messenger say that people have abandoned? Was it not the Quran? Quran chapter 25 verse 30. قال رسول يا ربي إن قوم اتخذوا هذا القرآن مهجورا. He who said my people have abandoned the Quran. He never said they abandoned Sunnah or Hadith or anything. They abandoned the Quran because that is the book God is going to use to judge you. So why waste your time with garbage books which the prophet never knew of? People are assigning these books to honorable man, and you are foolishly sitting somewhere in Ghana or Nigeria and saying that, wallahi, if you don't believe in our garbage books, you are a kafir. Oh, no problem. I'm a kafir. Let your book make me kafir 1,000 times. I accept. Is it by force? Remember, I'm the correctional officer. Don't forget that. Anyways, that's my full video. So the context is there. I know when I talk, it pierces their soul. It's like it's like their heart wants to explode. I'm not joking with you. I imagine them when they watch my videos, right? When they talk to me about me with hatred. So I was flabbergasted when I saw Dr. Nasir being respectful. You know, usually they are not respectful to me. When they see my video, it agitates them, it infuriates them. So doctor shows that yes, he's a doctor, so he handled it with maturity. But that is why he's been cutting my videos, so that he will not get to the part that will give him heart attack. So he deals with the part he feels like, okay, this part I can handle. Anyways, that was the full video. So now let's go back to the Dr. Nasir, right? So why am I even calling you doctor? It's Dr. Strange. Anyways, so Dr. Strange, let's go back to your video. This is what Dr. Strange did to my video. This same hadith people, look, the books are full of gibberish. Nothing is sensible in those. So I said the books, they are full of gibberish. They are full of gibberish. I know some people who say, oh, you can get some sense in that. I know. Even in the trash, if you go to the garbage right now, go to the trash. If you throw the trash I swear to God, we have some people in your neighborhood who can get something they need from the trash. Because why? They are deprived. If they knew you have something better at home to give them, do you think they will take what is in the trash? No. No sensible person who has the chance to take something better will go and take something which is kaput. Those people who are going to your trash to look for things to take is because they are deprived. Because they don't have the means to get the better option. Do you think if they will get the better option, who will go to the trash to take something? So Baba Shuaib, if I have the Quran to have something which is good for my liking, why should I go to the trash, your garbage book, to search for it? Tell me, what is there in that garbage book that can offer me something better than the Quran? Quran chapter 17 verse 9. Inna haza al-Quran yadi lillati hiya aqwam. Indeed, this Quran guides to that which is more appropriate. So Quran will give me a guidance which is more appropriate. Why will I waste my time going to the trash? So now, this is my statement. Listen what I said. Now somebody says, but we can get some truth in there. It's nothing that will put you to paradise. So nothing will you get from the hadith books that will put you to paradise, because the Quran is sufficient for your guidance, precisely what God requires from you to enter heaven. That's why the Quran is there as a book of guidance. Remember, Quran chapter 2 verse 185, God sent down the Quran as a guidance for mankind. So it is sufficient for your guidance to God. So God will not now leave the book and go outside the book to be demanding certain things which are not found in his book, to demand it from you. It doesn't make sense. So there's nothing in those books which will put you to paradise. Because are you saying God forgot to mention those cheat codes and other things that will put you to paradise? What kind of naivety is this? But listen to Dr. Strange when he's listening to what I'm saying. Because it seems I'm the Thanos. Yeah, I end up being Thanos and the best villain. He's the best villain in history of Marvel movies. So I'm the Thanos against Dr. Strange. So Dr. Strange is listening to Thanos. So let's go. From the Hadith books, nothing. Because that means you are telling me the Quran is not sufficient for your guidance. Thank you. So that means you are telling me the Quran is not sufficient for your guidance. That is why you go to the trash looking for certain things to benefit you. Why do you do that? You will be a shallow-minded person if you tell me you are going to the Hadith books to find guidance. That will take you to God. Something is wrong with you. Psychologically, I'm not joking. Because that means you are saying the Quran cannot help you. Look, let me give you an example. Look what Kid Custom said. Kid Custom said, Bukhari is very useful. Makes a good door stop. Right? So this is just, I know it's a joke, right? But hypothetically, if you go into Hadith books, let me give you an example. If you go into Hadith books, because it is the devil inspiring the people to write decorative statement, the decoration of delusive speech, because it is the devil, I'm snapping my fingers. Yes. Because it is the devil, he has to mix the truth with falsehood. So what do you get certain things in the Hadith books which make sense. For instance, this Hadith I just quoted, Sahih al-Bukhari 2155. According to the Hadith, the Prophet said, Man ishtarata shartan laysa fi kitabillah fahuwa batil. Whoever imposes a condition which is not found in the book of God, that condition is false. Do you see this Hadith make sense? That is the trick of the devil. He has to say something sensible here and go and say something nonsensical here. The moment you accept this sensible thing, you are bounded to accept this nonsensical also. Because the mushriks will tell you, how come you accept this and you don't want to accept that? Because they are both coming from our garbage books. Are you getting the point? The reason why I'm using that as an argument against them, because they believe in this nonsense. So I quote this nonsense back to them. This is your own gibberish. Take it. It says this. Take it. It doesn't mean I have to be convinced by that, because hadith is not my book of guidance. Quran is my book of guidance. But because these people cannot fight with us one-on-one on the Quran, that is why they do the twist and turns on the verses or on the hadith narrations. Verse by verse, they can't stand us. I'm not joking with you. On the day of judgment, which book will the prophet or the messenger say that people have abandoned? So you clearly heard my question. On the day of judgment, which book will the prophet say we have abandoned? Or will the messenger say we have abandoned? Which book? That is the question. Was it not the Quran? Quran chapter 25 verse 30. قال رسول يا ربي إن قوم اتخذوا هذا القرآن مهجورا. He who said my people have abandoned the Quran. He never said. Oh, you see, Dr. Strange gave me the thumbs up. Dr. Strange, you see, look at his face. This guy, he looks like Dr. Strange. Oh my God. He actually looks like Dr. Strange. So he liked what I said. He gave me thumbs up. Look. He who said my people has abandoned the Quran. He never said they abandoned Sunnah or Hadith or anything. So now, I quoted a verse and I said, on the day of judgment, the prophet is going to say they have abandoned the Quran. He never said they abandoned the Sunnah or Hadith or anything. No. God clearly told us in Quran chapter 25 verse 30. Now look at the straw man argument this Dr. Strange is going to do. Listen. Abandon the Quran.
You guys caught that? Quoted Surah Al-Furqan, ayah number 30. He's right. Allah Ta'ala says, وَقَالَ الرَّسُولُ يَا رَبِّ إِنَّ قَوْمِ اتَّخَذُوا هَذَا الْقُرْآنَ مَهْجُورًا. The messenger will say, oh my Lord, indeed the people have deserted this Quran. They've taken it as something abandoned. Absolutely. And then he says, but it never says anything like that about the Sunnah.
Guys, was he actually listening to me very well? Let's find out if he was actually listening.
Just about the Quran. My dear brother, if you are indeed a brother of Islam, in Islam, inshallah, look 3 ayat prior to that.
This guy forgot I was reading a context. I already know the summary of the context. That's why I read chapter 25 verse 30. The context is still about the messenger. The context coming down is still about the messenger and the Quran, not something else. I'm going to prove this guy to this guy to see how wrong he is about this issue. Watch.
Literally same surah, just 3 ayat above. So Surah Al-Furqan, ayah number 27, Allah Ta'ala says, وَيَوْمَ يَعُضُّ الظَّالِمُ عَلَى يَدَيْهِ يَقُولُ يَا لَيْتَنِ اتَّخَذْتُ مَعَ الرَّسُولِ سَبِيلًا. Allah Ta'ala says, and remember the day when the wrongdoer, the zalim, the oppressor, he will bite his hand and he will say, oh, would that I had taken a path with the messenger. Oh, I regret. Ya layt.
It doesn't say a path. When we say sirat, sirat is the path. When we say tariqa, tariqa can be a path, can be a way or a road. But when we say sabila, we are actually talking about the way itself, the sabil, the course on which God wants you to pass. The way, the course, take a course to God or take a way to God. That is the sabil. But it used the word as sabil. It's a definite article. There is a definite article. This guy said a path. He said a path. We are going to check the verse anyway.
I wish I had taken this path.
Then again, he said this path, right? Pay attention to the choice of words when a person is talking, trying to establish the truth. Pay attention to the words. Now he says this path.
With the messenger, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So yes, there are 2 things being described as a...
Now he says there are 2 things. I'm going to expose the lies this guy is committing here. It is a lie. Dr. Strange, you just lied. You said 2 things, right? I'm going to prove to the people that that thing is still the Quran, not outside the Quran.
Regret. One is the path, the sabil, or you could even say the sunnah, the way.
Now you see the game he's playing? One says the sabil, then he says you can even say the sunnah. That is a lie. The way is still the Quran. That is the sabil. And I'm going to prove that. Let's continue.
Is being abandoned. That's what you're going to regret in ayah 27 and in ayah 30, that you abandoned the Quran. These two are coming together very close.
Very close. Guys, I'm going to put the verse on the screen. Where does it mention sunnah in the verse? Quran chapter 25 verse 27. I'm going to put it on the screen. You check clearly how to catch these people's lies. Baba Shuaib is going to show you how to catch these lies when they are lying, right? So pay attention. I'm going to show you how they lie. Now you see here the verse on the screen above. So God says, it is the day a transgressor will bite on his hands, saying, oh, if only I had taken away with the messenger. Then he says, oh, woe to me, if only I had not taken so and so as a friend. Then it continues, he has suddenly diverted me from the remembrance, after when it had come to me. But the devil is to the human being a deserter. Then it continues, and the messenger will say, oh Lord, indeed, my people have taken this Quran as abandoned. Now, do you see the context? The context coming down is showing you the way, which is the Quran. That is why it says they have abandoned this Quran, because that is the way. Now, this person speaking in Quran chapter 25, verse 27, by saying, oh, if only I had taken away with the messenger. Which way is that? We are going to see. Now, I take you to Quran chapter 33, verse 66. These same people are going to lament when they found themselves in the fire. And this is what the verse says. Just a second. On that day, 33 verse 66, the day their faces will be rotated in the fire, they will say, if only we had obeyed God and obeyed the messenger. And 67, and they will say, our Lord, indeed, we obeyed our leaders and our elders, just like the sectarians are doing today by obeying their scholars, the ulama, and so on, instead of obeying God and his messenger, which both found in the Quran. They rather obey their scholars and their leaders. Then God says, but they misled us from the way. Do you see the way here has a definite article? It's a marifa. A definite article means it is specific. And what is that way? Then I take you to Quran chapter 6, verse 153. This is the way here. So God says, wa anna haza sirati mustaqiman fattabi'uhu. Then he says, wala tattabi'u subula fatafarraka bikum an sabili. Then he says, zalikum wasakum bihi la'allakum tattaqun. And he says, and moreover, this is my straight path, sirat. So follow it, one. And do not follow ways, subula, ways. This Dr. Nasir, Dr. Strange is trying to tell you there are two ways, meaning the way of the prophet and the way of God, meaning Sunnah and Quran. That is a lie. God says, do not follow ways, meaning other ways. Then you will be separated from his way, one way, that he has advised you. Thereby, perhaps you will become pious. Now, let's go and see the path on which the prophet himself, even which way did he ask the people to come and follow him. Quran chapter 12, verse 108. This is the way of the prophet himself. In Quran chapter 12, verse 108, the prophet says, Kul hazihi sabili adu'u ila Allah. Then he says, ala basiratin ana wa mani taba'ani wa subhanallahi wa ma ana min al-mushrikin. It says, say, this is my way. The Quran. This, the messenger has the Quran. Then now he is telling you and I, this is my way, not some other way. Ladies and gentlemen, please pay attention to what I'm saying carefully. Let me drink some water. Dr. Strange, if you are watching, the verse clearly says, the messenger was asked to say to the people, this is my way. The way you are saying it is the sunnah, it is some... Look, let me put the verse clearly. People cannot see it. This is the verse. Guys, you can see the verse clearly, right? Oh, sorry. I didn't share the tab, sorry. This one. Yeah, now can you see it? This is the verse. This is the verse. So now it says, Kul, you the messenger, say to the people, Hazi sabili adu'u ilallah ala basiratin ana wa man ittabani wa subhanallahi wa ma ana minal mushrikeen. He says, say, this is my way. It is not any sunnah, any gibberish these comedian scholars are telling you. Wallahi, don't let these comedian scholars fool you. The messenger's way is in the Quran that he has been given. That is his way. He doesn't have any other way. That is why on the day of judgment, he will tell God, his people have abandoned the Quran, because that is what matters. The book of God is what you are supposed to follow. So the messenger himself says, this is my way that I invite to God. Upon what? Perception. I and whoever follows me, and glory be to God, for I am not among the mushriks. So this is the way of the messenger. The Quran itself. That's why it says this, T-H-I-S, this in front of you. You have it. Then now you go and misquote the verses of God, twist the verses of God just to justify your garbage books. When Baba Shuaib is talking, you think I don't know what I'm saying. I dare you scholars to come one-on-one. Let's face it off and see if you guys can stand the test of time. The way is the Quran. That is the way the messenger followed. He didn't follow any other way. Now let's continue with Dr. Strange.
And the fact that you didn't see it makes me really wonder. Did you...
Now he is telling me I didn't see it. Guys, do I need glasses? Which of the glasses do I need? Which one? Do I need this one? This one, can I even see well? I don't know which glasses he wants me to use to see the verse. Doctor, it seems you need the glasses. You didn't see this verse? Doctor, I think you need the glasses, so not me. The last time I checked, I'm the one showing you the verse you didn't see. This guy said they are comedy. He said the fact that I didn't see what? Hey, are you sleeping? Dr. Strange.
You just not read the surah at all, or are you...
No, did you just read the Quran at all? You, Dr. Strange. Did you read the Quran at all? No, I don't think so. You never did. No, you never read the Quran at all.
Are you purposefully avoiding these facts?
No, you are purposely avoiding this verse I just quoted. Chapter 12, verse 1 through 8. You just didn't watch the Quran very well to see that the messenger's way is the Quran, not hadith garbage books or sunnah or whatever you are concocting. This is why I dare your scholars. None of you can show me a verse where it says the sunnah to Nabi or sunnah to Muhammad or sunnah to Rasulullah. It doesn't exist in the Quran. We have the sunnah to Allah. That's the sunnah of God. That is what the Prophet himself was ordained to follow. Ma kana ala nabi min harajin fima faradallahu lahu. Then he says sunnatallahi You find it in Quran chapter 33, verse 38. That is the sunnah of God. That is what the prophet practiced. He doesn't have his own sunnah. So with all your comedy books behind you, Dr. Strange, I'm surprised with all your degrees, you don't even study the Quran.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Oh, wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. That part you are truthful. Salaam alaikum, yes. That only the part you are truthful. All the rest of the part you just made a straw man argument, full of heebie-jeebies. Dr. Strange, I will be editing this video to cut it, make it into about 2 reels. I'm going to throw it back to you. Expect that. And I expect you to confront me for a dialogue. Let's go one-on-one. Invite me to your platform. I'll honor your invite. I'll come there and face you, Dr. Strange. And let's see if you can stand the test of time when you're facing the correctional officer. Because I love it when people like you approach me respectfully, right? You did your videos against me. It was respectful. No insults, no nothing. You were respectful. That one, I will give you thumbs up for that. You're very good at that. But anyway, if you're coming at me, please make sure you fix your back very well before coming at the correctional officer. Yes, because I like it when you people step on my toes. I'm built for this, and I'll come for you. I'm serious. So whatever you are trying to justify, no, you can't justify it from the book of God. You can only twist the words of God. Remember Quran chapter 10, verse 82. It says, وَيُحِقُّ اللَّهُ الْحَقَّ بِكَلِمَاتِهِ وَلَوْ كَرَهَ الْمُجْرِمُونَ. It says that God will enforce the truth with his words, even if the criminals dislike it. Right? So we are using the words of God to enforce the truth, whether you like it or not. You want to justify Hadith books, not in front of Baba Shuaib. It doesn't work. No, you are not going to do that. Aha. So let's think podcast is Salam Baba Shuaib, brother. These guys are not going to face you live, one-on-one. They will continue to run. I know that. That is the truth. That is the truth. They will not come. They will not come. I know. 18 times Hadith word came in the Quran. Not even once Allah mentioned about Hadith Rasul. No, there's no Hadith in Nabi or Hadith Rasul. It doesn't exist. Right. So this is what they do. They try to twist the words of God always. Lioness of Somalia, I can see you laughing. You are laughing. Okay. What did I miss? Humble says, officer, I like your second eyes. My second eyes? Where is my second eyes? You mean my glasses? I thought you need my second eye. Hey, please, oh. Yeah, guys, let me send the invite in case anybody wants to join as a guest. I'm going to put it in the comment section. If you want to join as a guest, that is it. And if you want to call as a guest, let me see, I can post the. If you want to call as a guest, that is the WhatsApp number on the page. That's a WhatsApp number here, right? And if you want to join as a guest, I just put the invite. Let me see. Yeah, peace, bro. Can you hear me?
Yes, Salam, Brother Shuaib. How you doing?
Wa salam, brother. Omar. I'm doing well. How about you?
Yes. I had a question about a particular. Let me just pull it. Chapter 5, Maida. Where? Yes. Verse 114. Jesus, son of Mary, said, "O Allah, our Lord, send down to us food from heaven, which should be to us an ever-recurring happiness, to the first of us and the last of us, and the same from thee, and give us sustenance, and thou art the best of sustenance." Is there any other verse or information in the Quran that says what was this thing that was ever recurring happiness? I had a discussion with some friends and family members, and they were tending to say that this is not like real food. This could be like spiritual knowledge or something like that, divine knowledge that came that was like recurring all the time to enlighten the people. And they kind of take it more like metaphorical, especially the couple verses before with the miracles. Like one argument they propose is that the curing of the blind was like curing them from spiritual blindness, from God's revelation and stuff. But I think that the verses before are talking about like something to eat and, you know, like food and stuff. So I was curious if the Quran elaborates further on what is this recurring, ever recurring happiness or recurring happiness, which they asked Jesus to send down from the Lord.
Okay, so let's check the verses. You know, many a times we have to let the verses speak for itself. Some things can be taken in a literal sense and can be understood non-literal sense, right? And these are not verses that should be argued about because it's not a law, right? If it's a law or judgment, yes, we can argue further on that. But things like this, some people want to understand is metaphorical. If they want to do that, it's up to them. The literal sense is there. So let's check the verses itself, how it's present the literal sense of it. Right? So, okay. Let me expand the verse here. So let's start, let's say, from Quran chapter 5, verse 111. Right? So in 111, it says, "And when I, God, inspired to the disciples that believe in me and in my messenger, they said, we have believed and testified that we are Muslims." 112. Then the disciples said, "O Jesus, son of Mary, can your Lord be able to send down a dining to us from the sky?" He, Jesus, said, "Beware of God if you should be believers." 113. They said, "We want to eat from it and reassure our eyes." Now, I want you to underline where it says eat. Now, this eat can be also understood to be consume. Right? And when we say you are consuming something, it doesn't necessarily have to be literal.
Right.
So, you know, even in terms of knowledge, I can use the word consumption. In terms of fuel, a car using the fuel, you can say the car is consuming the fuel, meaning, you know, taking from it. So if you look at it from a different lens, if it doesn't have contradiction, it can stand. If you look at it from different lens, when it has contradiction, it can never be the word of God. So now God says, they said, "We want to eat from it." Now you can also use, "We want to consume from it." But now, what is the essence of using the word ma'idah? If you go in the literal sense of ma'idah, it means a dining where you have feasts, you sit together and eat. That is what it literally means. So in the non-literal aspect of it, you need to ask the person the question. If it is non-literal, the ma'idah, what does it mean? But then let's go forward. Now, pay attention to the word ma'idah, which is dining. Pay attention to 113, which mentions the word eat. Now I'm going to give you the third word, which concludes that this is actually a literal sense of eating food. I'm going to give you the third word. Now let's continue. We want to eat from it and reassure our hearts, and to know that you, Jesus, have been truthful to us and be among the witnesses to it. 114. Jesus, the son of Mary, said, "O God, our Lord, send down a dining to us from the sky to be a feast." Now this feast, Ida, the word Eid, it means feast. So now, God, it mentions dining, Ma'idah. The word dining, Ma'idah is mentioned. And then the word feast is mentioned. And then the word eat is mentioned. I don't see any problem when somebody looks at it literally.
Right.
There's no problem with that, because what they wanted to see is a miracle. Remember, the people of Moses also asked him for food like that.
They asked for miracles.
Yes.
And then in the previous verse, it's already talking about miracles. So, you know what I mean? Like in 110 there? Yeah, 110. Like, for example, for the bird one, he created something like the shape of a bird, and then God gave him permission. He breathed into it and it became a bird. Like, for me, I don't see you could ever make that metaphorical. That has to be like miraculous. Like, I don't know what that would symbolize metaphorical. So the fact that you have miracles in verse 110, couple verses before, I agree it's not wrong to take it non-literally, but I would find it hard to take it non-literally when the verse before is giving you very explicit literal miracles. And the other thing is that I understand, like, okay, yes, consumption, let's say if it's non-literal consumption of divine knowledge that they receive recurringly so that they can benefit. But before Jesus, they were already receiving so much of that because they had many prophets that came to give them that recurring knowledge and divine information from God, and they just keep killing the prophets or being immoral. So to me, it doesn't make sense that Jesus is going to say, okay, they asked for more recurring knowledge because God already gave them recurring knowledge. Why are you going to ask again the same thing from God again? So that's why for me, it makes sense more that it would be like a literal dining or feast of food to give them the reassurance from their heart. Something different, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So in that sense, anytime somebody wants to show you the non-literal side of something, yours is just to look for contradiction. If what the person is saying has contradictions, it cannot be what it means. Of course, things can be looked at from two different angles. It doesn't necessarily mean every time everything has to be looked at literally. If somebody can understand, if somebody can understand it non-literally without having contradiction, yes, it can go. There's nothing wrong. But the first place,
no, for sure. So the concept is definitely not wrong. Like, obviously, I know there's other verses, I can't remember them, where God does say that, like for example, when he says that the Quran is a healing for you, it's obviously that's non-literal. Like, if you pick it up, it's not going to heal you physically. It's going to heal you internally, right? So there are places where the concept of non-literal definitely fits, right? So I think it's more so, for me, it's more so if the concept of non-literal can actually fit in the context of the verse. Even if it doesn't fit, doesn't mean the concept is wrong. But for me, it's like, it's just whether it fits or it doesn't fit.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, yeah, that's kind of, I had a discussion about this last week, and I just wanted to kind of get your take on that.
Sure.
I had sent you a private message about that video lecture I sent you. When you have a chance to follow up with it, would be great. I'd appreciate it.
Yeah,
I know you're busy, guys.
I'll check it. I'll check it out, inshallah.
Okay. All right, brother. Peace, and have a good day. And
thank you for your time. God bless you. Peace.
Peace.
Yeah. So I put the yeah. Okay, I inserted a link earlier on. Let me see. I inserted the link earlier on. So if people want to join via the link, that is it. You can find it on YouTube. You can find it on Facebook. It's there, right? On YouTube and Facebook, that's the link. If you want to join as a guest, you're welcome. Then I can bring you as a guest. We have investigator, right?
Salam, brother. How are you?
Wa salam, my brother. I'm doing well. How about you?
Alhamdulillah. I needed a little bit of your help on chapter 20. Just a little part of my an investigation I'm doing. So it's just a little part that I got stuck on, and obviously you're a really good. It's really good that we can actually reach out to someone like yourself.
Yeah.
So chapter 20.
Where are you calling from, by the way? Which country?
I'm calling from the UK, brother.
Okay, no problem. Yes. What is the chapter?
Chapter 20. Thank you, bro.
Chapter 20. You're welcome. Chapter 20, verse.
So if we start, obviously, I think it's not too far. It's maybe 9 verses away from where I want to go. So it may as well just kind of look over the beginning just to get the context. So 20 verse 1 to so to 20 verse 9. That's kind of like where I want to be.
20 verse 9.
So the story about Moses. So it starts off Allah's kind of saying, like, reminding you. It's like Allah's reminding us that, Allah gave us the grant not to cause us any distress. So, it's a reminder to those who are in awe. So it says, those who are in shock, like awe. That's the way I'm looking at verse 20, verse 3. So it says, but as a reminder to those in awe of Allah, so who are like kind of fascinated with Allah. So then it says, it is a revelation for the one who created the earth and the high heavens. Obviously, these translations probably differ. I'm just looking at my phone for the first thing. The most compassionate was who is established on the throne. To bring to him belongs whatever is in the heavens and the earth and is on the earth, and whatever is in between and whatever is underground. And it goes on, but what's interesting is that it says here, has the story of Prophet Moses, reached you? And then it says about, in 20 verse 12, about taking off his shoes.
Yeah.
So it says here that it's a sacred valley.
Yeah.
And then what's really interesting is down here it says, where's it gone? It almost, I was reading it, where's it gone? The verse I remember, it said that Allah was going to make it like a sign or something. My point is a bunch of things, basically. Where is this valley? Number one. Number two, because Allah has said to Prophet Moses, take off your sandals, for you are in a sacred valley, would that kind of suggest that it's a really significant place? Because it is, surely. Like Allah's telling Prophet Moses, this is a... where's it gone? So take off your sandals, for you are in a sacred valley of Tuwa. So that's verse... chapter 20, verse 12.
Yeah.
So now, I believe I found it, and it's kind of like a lot of people have starting to discover where the actual place is. which is amazing because they found the burnt mountain. Half of it's burnt, it's still there. They found next to it was the split rock where Allah told Prophet Moses to strike the rock and the water comes out. Next to that is 12 tribes, 12 wells. So my question to you, I know it's kind of a lot. I'm just obviously trying to get my head around it. My question to you is, so clearly the sacred valley of Tuwa is a sacred place. Because Allah tells us that means it's a very significant place, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there anything that we know on that level to suggest that there's? Would you say that's on the similar level to a Masjid al-Haram, based on the Quran, based on what attributes Allah tells us about the Masjid al-Haram? Do we have something that says it's a sacred place?
This mountain has been studied through course history and time. It is actually you find it at the mountain of, we call it Horeb. Mount Horeb. That is the Wad al Muqaddas Tuha.
Which country would that be in?
It is the old. In the modern day, we will say Saudi Arabia.
Yes.
But in the olden days, there was no country called Saudi Arabia, you know. So
okay, you've made it very easy for me. Thank you.
Yeah.
It's always good. It's always good when you can agree with things. I was personally blown away because the guy basically, he went to the edge of Egypt. He looked for some land. He found a place called Nuweiba Beach. There was lots of there was lots of space. So he said, okay, let's start here because if anywhere you can fit 50 to 100,000 people, this would be it. So then they started there. Then they looked into the sea, and they put cameras into the sea, and they started to find like chariots and things like that. So we know the story how it goes. So that kind of matched up, which is fascinating. He went across, and then they found some palm trees, which is also kind of mentioned, and then the 12 wells to represent the different tribes, and then obviously the mountain that was burnt and the split rock. But what's fascinating about all of this, Baba Shuaib, is that it is so significant for every single Abrahamic religion, Christianity, Islam, Judaism, but the land is barren land. And there's no significance, there's no attraction towards it.
Which land is barren?
Well, these landmarks exist. So where there's the burnt mountain, there isn't like a lots of civilization around there. I think it's all kind of like locals, you know, very kind of old school sort of small pockets of people. But it's not like, you don't hear from any religion that that's our place and, you know, we should maybe start building around it or go and do some kind of trip, you know, some excursions there, things like that. It's not really known. And I find that fascinating because it's like, Allah says it's a sacred land and we know where it is. So yeah, I was just kind of doing my own little thing there. But it just goes to show that humans can be deceived. And that is just my point I wanted to make today.
But with the issue of Moses and location, he actually is. It is not a location that has to be there for something to be done again.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that is not absolutely 100% agree with you. But I know human nature, and human nature claims to do this, claims to do that, and you see how extreme they can get on that level. I love the Prophet, and this is what I'm going to do, or blah blah blah. You know.
I get what you mean. Let me give an example. Let me give an example. Adam and Eve were created on earth. They lived on earth and they died on earth.
Yeah.
Right. But if you
was that in the Garden of Eden, brother? Sorry to jump in.
No, they were not in the Garden of Eden. No. Nowhere in the Quran does it say Adam and Eve were in the Garden of Eden. Nowhere.
Yeah.
So Garden of Eden will only exist after the Judgment Day. That's when people will actually go to Garden of Eden.
Yeah.
So Adam and Eve, they lived on earth. They stayed on earth. They died on earth, and they were buried on earth.
Yeah.
But now somebody will say, okay, I want to know where the grave of Adam is. I don't want to know where Adam and Eve live, because with time, places change, events happen,
Yeah.
natural disasters and so on changes the structure of places, right?
Agenda and all sorts of stuff. There's political agenda usually, and yeah, of course.
So if somebody will say, okay, I need evidence to know where Adam and Eve actually stayed and live, it is not something that I think has any role to play in the faith.
Of course, of course.
Right.
The only thing that pulls me towards that, no, you're 100% right. Because on the grand scheme of things, it doesn't really mean anything, you know. I get what your point is, and you are right. But the only thing that pulls me to this particular area and this topic is the fact that Allah asked Prophet Moses, "Did you not know this is like a sacred valley? Take off your shoes." So now, given that much information, and now finally, after so many years, we've discovered where the location is. We learn many lessons. One, that a significant place can be lost in time, and two, it kind of gives us a realization that there's so many different sort of groups around claiming to want to be close to God, but they don't even know about this one sort of really significant place. Because if they did, then surely you would see some kind of civilization there, some sort of regular like these trips that they do, like they do similar with Karbala and all these other places. It's not on that radar. So I find it quite fascinating. But yeah, I just thought I'd bring that to your attention and just like have a conversation. That's all it was, Baba Shuaib.
No problem. Thank you, brother. Thank you for your
Jazakallah, and thank you for the conversation. Take care.
God bless.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Peace. Yeah, brother Imran, good night. I know you left already. I happen to just see a message now, unfortunately. Let me see. Somebody says, Jamshed says, I will go to Tua one day, inshallah, and make prayers there, alhamdulillah. God is already listening to you. You don't need to go there to listen for God to listen to you. God is God only appeared to Moses because he had to give him an assignment. That's why it talks about God appearing to the valley, that holy valley, because the presence of God was there at that time. Yeah, but it doesn't mean, how will I say? Yeah, just a second. Yeah. Okay, guys, is there any question I missed? I might be ending the program very soon. Any question I missed? Don't forget to grab your copies of the hardcover version. Like I made a promise, there is this sister who actually gave a donation for copies to be given to some people in Africa. I've actually given to quite a few people, but yes, there's a number of people I need to give when I get to go to Ghana. And then I'll be working my way to get some copies to people in Nigeria and other places in Africa. But sometimes the shipment could be problematic for some countries. That's the main reason. But I think we have to work to find a way where we can have people representing from certain areas where we can get people who can help distribute to other people, right? I think that will be helpful. So if you have people in particular places that can be easily dispersed to other people, yes, people can have it in Africa in the best available way. But for now, yeah, for now, let's work on what we can do best. Yes, so that is the link to get your copy if you want the hard copy version of the Quran. That is the link to it. But at the moment, we are having issues shipping to the US of A, because there is a new post restriction coming. So the laws putting in place. So I have the feedback that 2 people actually ordered the copy, but they are yet to receive their copies from the US. So please exercise some patience. We are working around the clock to get the copies to you, and hopefully you will get it on time, inshallah. Radmon Farouk, peace to you. So that's just a problem for now. But people in Canada, Australia, Europe, South America, wherever you are, yes, you can get a copy. But people in Africa, I'll be working around the clock to have some collaborations in South Africa, if probably South Africa, and then some other parts of Africa where we can get it spread out, inshallah. So let's see how it works out. But guys, if there are no more questions to come up, I might be ending soon. So if you have any questions, yes. If you don't have any questions, I might have to end soon. I don't know. Do I need to go jump onto TikTok? I might hop onto TikTok. For those on TikTok, if they are willing to join, so somebody is asking a question on TikTok. Inshar says, is it a must to go to Hajj? It's not a must. It is actually recommended if you have the means and capability to go. Quran chapter 3 verse 97, it says, وَلِلَّهِ عَلَى النَّاسِ هِجُّ الْبَيْتِ مَنِ اسْتَطَاعَ إِلَيْهِ سَبِيلًا. It says, whoever has the means to it, whoever has the capacity, the capability to go, then they can go, right? But it is not compulsory. Salam to you, Mino Sabe Koba. Let me see. Ghana says the signature laugh. Yes, Baba Shuaib, I need to. It's a must for me to bring that signature laugh. Malcolm X, you're watching. I see. Guys, I've not been reading the comments on TikTok, unfortunately. Is there any question I've actually missed? If not, yes, it does. It does ship through Canada Post. Yes, it goes to Canada. Yeah. Okay. Anyone is ordering to Canada, we are currently experiencing a postal strike. Yeah. So you can hold on. I can't wait to get a copy. Yes. No, he will not respond. Dr. Strange, Dr. Mushrik will not respond to that. Sheikh Sam from Sheikh Sam on TikTok is asking, how many times should one pray in a day, and can you give time and number of rakats for each? Your question is just complicated. You should just ask me what the Quran say about prayer instead of asking me questions like No name, yes. Salam to you. Thank you. Thank you. God bless you. Hibanu ZX says, halal slaughter, please. Halal slaughter? Halal slaughter? Please, what's your question about? What do you mean halal slaughter? If you go through Canada Post, Baba, you will need to use a different carrier, or else people will need to be very patient for their order. I think we have other channels of posting, but not necessarily. There is EMS, there is DHL, but DHL is more expensive for people, right? So usually we use the method of EMS and then the usual regular post. But normally our post is normally express, so it's sent on time for people to receive. So, but sometimes it can be on the person's end, the receiver's end. Sometimes your country, the customs can actually delay the package and so on. But usually it takes less than 2 weeks for the package to just arrive. Sometimes in a week, and people get their package. Yes, guys. If there's no more question coming, I might end the stream and go to TikTok, right? In case there's no there's no more questions coming. For those on TikTok, can you hear me? Yeah, those on TikTok, can you still see me? Can you hear me? Aha, okay. Because I was thinking you guys lost me for a minute. Yes, for you, Momade Pedro, I would suggest you contact the customs in your country, because it says your copy already got to your country. That was on the 21st of September. It's been in your country 21st of September. So sometimes there's a head office you contact with your tracking number, right? Or you can track it via your country's main posts. Sometimes they leave it at the headquarters. This is some of the African system. Countries like Ghana, Nigeria, and so on, they have this system. They, instead of bringing to deliver it to you, they want to keep it, right? Because they want you to come for it so that they can get some chicken change from you. They do that a lot. One funny thing that happened to me is before I went to Ghana, I sent myself a parcel to Ghana, right? Before I went to Ghana last year, I sent myself a parcel to Ghana, and I got there. The package is there I have to go and receive it. So instead of for the package to go and be delivered at my location, it didn't go. It stayed at the main postal hub. I have to go there, and initially I already paid for everything before sending it from Finland. But yes, I still need to go and pay for money to receive my own package. It's just so ridiculous, right? So sometimes it's just funny how people do those things. Baba Dr. Nasir was like on his live Quran. Live Quran is not the only guidance from God, and that
Nature can also be guidance. And I said, nature should bring you back to God. Exactly. Nature has to bring you back to God. Because nature is about God. So nature brings you back to God. Those people hate the book of God because they are fake. They are phonies. They are working for the devil. Yeah. Yes, thank you. You're welcome, Balogun. Thank you. I appreciate that. Thank you. God bless you. Jamshade says, Baba, you should move to the USA, inshallah. I don't think Donald Trump will like me. Donald Trump will not like me. Yeah, greetings to you, Ralph, the humanitarian. Greetings to you, bro. User 9300 says, peace. Is Masjid al-Aqsa in Palestine or Holy Land? Oh my God. The Masjid al-Aqsa mentioned in the Quran doesn't exist now. You don't find it anywhere. Guys, if there's no more question coming, I have to end the stream, right? It's slow already. No more questions coming on, and there's no more guests that I can find there. So no more guests, no more question. I might have to end the stream, right? Unless if somebody has something to ask or something to say, then you're welcome, right? Yes. I'm making a plan. I might to go to Ghana. Yes. And I saw a video actually. I wasn't happy about the video, right? That people are actually facing famine. There's famine in Gaza. That's what they said. But I don't trust the source. All the charities and everything people are giving in order to be paid to the people to use to help. Some people are blocking the access for the food and everything to go. The access is being blocked. So the charities and everything people are paying to help people in Gaza, it doesn't actually reach the people, right? So there's a question mark there. Something is actually wrong, right? Will the paradise and hell be here on earth, or will it be in heaven, since the world will be destroyed? Your question is a bit complicated. It is not put in the right fashion. But yes, what you are promised is in heaven. Your paradise will be in heaven, right? So let me give you, I think there are some verses I can give you on that. Yes, so let's take paradise. So it says, and hasten to forgiveness. That is Quran chapter 3, verse 133. Hasten to forgiveness from your Lord, and a garden whose width is as the heavens and the earth, prepared for the pious. Chapter 51, verse 22. And in heaven is your sustenance and whatever you are promised. So in heaven is where you are going. The paradise is your sustenance, everything. In heaven, not like, of course, it will be created as the earth, but not the same earth you are now, because the earth you are now will be destroyed. Right? And then it talks about, let me see. It talks about the Garden of Eden. The Garden of Eden has been mentioned. That is what we are going to be given. Chapter 19, verse 61, it says, Gardens of Eden, which the merciful has promised his servant in the unseen. Indeed, his promise is coming, right? The promise is coming. Chapter 38, verse 50, the gates of the gardens of Eden will be open for them. Yeah, so the paradise you have even been promised is way bigger. It's way bigger than the heavens and the earth, right? So it is not,
how you see it or think it is. Chapter 32, verse 19 says, as for those who believed and did good deeds, thus they will have the guidance of refuge, a lodging for what they have been doing. Then it talks about their reward at their Lord are gardens of Eden, beneath which rivers flow, eternally there in forever. God will be pleased with them and they will be pleased with him. That is for whoever feared his Lord. Yeah, so those are some of the verses and what it speaks on, what they speak on concerning the paradise. Hell will be brought forth also on the day of judgment. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know why they created a logo saying Islamic logo. Abraham never used that. No prophet ever used that, except this hadith. Hadith people created them for themselves saying Islamic logo. That's a lie. There's no such thing as Islamic logo. Anyway. King Hassan Mohammed, I see you on TikTok. Truth to the World, December 22nd is opening day, bro. Can't wait so we spend more time together. Yeah. Yes, God willing. God willing. Speaking truth is a great man. Yeah. God bless you, bro. King Hassan, bless you. Hopefully you see me in Ghana by then. God willing. Let me see what the Quran says about that coming back, or it is just hadith. No, Jesus is not coming back. He's coming back to do what? Not you ask them when they tell you Jesus is coming. Ask them, what is he coming to do? Baba, what is the ruling on homosexuality in Islam? Is it really haram or nah? It is haram. If you go to Quran chapter 4 verse 15 to 16, yes, it mentions issues with, it has to do with homosexuality also, and it is considered as fahisha. Fahisha is obscenity, right? But it doesn't say you should kill them or anything, no. But yes, it's a crime. So we had the Lot tried to advise his people against that, so that they could stop that act, right? And then we can see, because Lot didn't have any power against them, he was alone. Had he had that power, he could have stopped them from doing that. But according to the Quran, chapter 4, verse 15 to verse 16, they have to be punished. If it's a man and a man who committed it, they have to be punished. A woman and a woman commit that, they have to be punished. Right? Those acts of obscenity, they are classified as acts of obscenity. Baba, is it mandatory to read Al-Fatiha in Salat? No, it is not mandatory. It is recommended, but not mandatory. Recommended means because it is a dua, you are invoking God, you are talking to God directly. Yes, it is recommended to use it when you are opening, your prayer or dua. That's why it's called the opener. So that's logically, it tells you, yes, you can use it, but it is not mandatory. No. No. Pharaoh, yeah, judgment day, as in you have already been decided where you're going. In that sense, when you look at it, your death being your judgment day, that is true. Because the moment you die, you already know your destination. Nothing will change that. The moment you die, you already know your destination. Just like Pharaoh already died, he knows his destination. When you read Quran chapter 23, verse 99 to 100, a transgressor dies, he already knows where he's going. Nothing will change that. So that is his judgment day. He already knows he has been judged, and that is his final destination. David says, Baba, what is your take on hadith? Hadith, which hadith are you talking about? The Quran itself is hadith. It is actually the best hadith. So when you say hadith, you have to be specific. If you ask me what was my take on fabricated hadiths like Sahih Bukhari and so on, then I'll tell you they belong to the, they don't belong to Islam. Guys, I'm almost in 2 hours, 30 minutes in. I think I might have to end soon. Brother, could you please clarify chapter 2, verse 61, why you translated Misra indefinite article as Egypt? Wouldn't that need to be Misr? I don't understand your point. You said indefinite article as what? Egypt. If you said Egypt, that's a proper noun. Misra. The Misra is denoting, for instance, let's take the word Nasara. Nasara denotes Christians, the followers of Jesus, but the literal meaning is actually partisans or supporters. That's the literal meaning of Nasara. But it is understood to be Christians because they are the ones claiming to be the followers and supporters of Jesus. You get the point. So me translating the instance of the Misra as Egypt is to let you understand, the timeline and whatever happened at that time of Moses, where it happened, the location it happened, so that people can understand the context of where it's being talked about. That is the point. So, Talib says, reach out instead of pray for him. Why should I pray for the prophet? What is wrong with the prophet? Why should I pray for him? The prophet is already accepted by God. What will I be praying to the prophet for him for? So that God will do what for him? No, it doesn't say pray. The context is talking about the believers at the time of the prophet. If you want to understand chapter 33, verse 56, it has to do with the believers at his time. Read verse 53. Read it downwards. You understand. It is the believers who were with him, the prophet, when he was alive. The believers are asked to reach out to him, meaning in the act of communication, to support him. So if a prophet has a message and nobody comes to him to communicate, how can he spread the message? That is what it means. It is not about praying for the prophet. He doesn't need your prayers, please. Yeah, Baba, people that find out they are going to hell when they die, can God have mercy on them, admit them to paradise? According to Quran chapter 39, verse 61, it is only your achievements that will save you on the day of judgment. But then again, when we read Quran chapter 7, verse 40 downwards, I think verse 40 downwards, we can see the people who are on the heights, right? God is going to save some of them based on with his mercy. But I cannot tell if those people are transgressors. It doesn't actually say those people on the Araf are transgressors. So to say people who are actually transgressors, who are destined to go to hell, and God will save them to put to paradise, I doubt that. I don't see any evidence in the Quran which suggests that. But of course, God can do whatever he wills, right? What is your take on Hurul Ain, 72 virgins? No such thing as 72 virgins in the Quran, no. Will be awarded purified women? If it is yes, what about believing women? No, no such concept of that. The Hurul Ain are just assistants. They are there to assist also. But it doesn't say there are 72 virgins to be given to somebody. Of course, some people will be coupled with those. If they are not actually married and they died, they will be given that as a mate, as a couple. But people who actually have their wives, their spouses being believers, they will get their spouses again back. That is if they actually did righteous work. It doesn't mean everybody will get the same thing. But if they actually did righteous work, they are going to get that reward. But it doesn't say, let me give the example here. So for instance, when you go to Quran chapter 36 verse 56, it says they together with their spouses will be in the shelter, leaning on couches, right? Yes, Quran chapter 36 verse 56. And then Quran chapter 43 verse 68 to 70, it says, O servants, there will be no fear upon you today, nor will you grieve. The ones who believed in our verses and were submitters entered paradise, you and your spouses happily, right? Yeah. Guys, 2 hours, 30 minutes is enough. I need to go. For those on TikTok, I have to come back again. Yeah. Guys, I need to end the topic now. Yeah, I need to end the topic now. Yeah, I need to bring this to an end. I'm jumping to TikTok. I'm hopping to TikTok now, so people can join me on TikTok. It says, Baba, I have stopped fearing hell and craving heaven. When I pray for, you pray for good. That's what you mean, right? You pray for good. So you pray for good without expecting any gain in the afterlife. Is that good or bad? There's nothing bad. Is that God made a promise He is going to reward you with paradise, or so if you without hoping for anything, it is your good deeds that will earn you the results of going to paradise. So it's not about craving or something. So yeah, guys, I'm bringing the topic to an end. What is the difference between zakat and sadaqah? Sadaqah is actually the alms you give. According to Quran chapter 9 verse 60, it has a category on how sadaqah is given. Zakat is the money you give in order to attain purity, meaning you have the intention to give to make a difference. Explained in Quran chapter 92 verse 17 to 21, you get the breakdown of zakat. So zakat is something you give to attain purity, to wipe out your deeds, bad deeds. Whilst the sadaqah can be used interchangeably, but the sadaqah has been made of as an obligation, which has a way to be used. Zakat also has a way that you can use. So I gave this breakdown in I did a lecture on zakat, right? I have it in my playlist. I think I talk about the zakat series or something. You'll find a full video that gives the breakdown on the zakat. It's just the meanings and what they denote, but they are interchangeable. They go under the anfiku to spend in the cause of God. Yeah, Bilal Jibril, I see you. Greetings to you, man. Senior Japanese, Baba Seidu, I see you. Salam, bro. Thank you, JS. God bless you. I see Rehan, Akib. I see you can do this. Thank you, Momade. Thank you, Sharif Karim. Musa Khan, thank you very much. God bless you. We have lying to escape from wrongdoers is haram. It depends what you call the lie. It depends what you say or what you call the lie, right? It depends. Just been yes, thank you very much. God bless you. Abdul Samad, God bless you. Thank you very much. Guys, I'm ending the stream, but I'll jump onto TikTok for a bit before I go. I don't know if I should end the stream totally. I shouldn't go to TikTok. I don't know, but I'm ending the stream, going to TikTok for a bit before I go, right? I don't know. I'm getting tired. I'm exhausted. Yeah. Yeah, so thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. I bring the topic to an end. Peace. For those on TikTok, stay tuned. I'm coming back. Peace out. Yes, thank you, Umar Satao. Thank you. Peace to you. Mohammed Lawal, peace to you all. I appreciate the support. God bless you all. Peace. Always give them a reason to remember your name. The correctional officer.